You're listening to 182.3, Care What People Think. Hello, you wonderful people. Welcome back to the Care What People Think podcast, where every week we are talking about our highs and lows of life. Why'd you laugh, Will? That is
Man
a
said
serious
hello,
statement.
people. Man said hello, people.
I said hello,
Sounded like the
wonderful
mayor.
people, bro. Yeah.
there
Hello,
you go.
wonderful people. Welcome
Yeah,
to
welcome to my town.
Yeah,
That's literally what you
welcome
sounded like.
to the Ryanville and Willville, dude. That's what we call it here. Not Dr. Seuss related or
No.
anything. So, anyway, my name's Ryan, and actually, I'm always here with my co-host Will. Say hi, Will. Nah, you don't get to say hi today. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about a topic that hits close to home for most people in their early 20s. I've struggled with it. I can't speak for Will exactly on this, but overcoming self-doubt and building self-esteem. And so, if you've ever struggled with like not feeling good about yourself or not feeling like you're enough for second guessing yourself, um, you're not alone is what I'm trying to say. We've all been there too, and today we're trying to unpack what helps us most to get past those moments of insecurity. But as you all know, we start the podcast every single week with something that we are proud of from the previous week, and that's my turn this week. I said week a lot. This week we started with right, Will.
Yeah, this week Ryan went from being weak to being strong. He went to the gym more.
It's not for the week, dude. That was the start to my week. Anyway, this week, no, I'm just kidding. But actually, though, what I'm very proud of myself for. This is not really like a statistic or like something you can measure by any means, but so I'm gonna give you a little bit of a backstory. I think you guys know to the most extent, but to the most of the extent of this. But moving to Charlotte, I moved here about a month ago. It's actually feeling like my new home. And although that sounds crazy, wow, you've been there for a month. Like I can finally say that I'm feeling happy and healthy mentally, physically after like kind of a stressful move. And people don't see that as like, well, you just moved and then you're good. No, you don't just move and you're good. It takes a while to grow roots and start building an actual like environment for yourself, right? And for me, I've really opened myself up to people in both my jobs and outside of work to meet some really cool people in just a month. Now I just got to get involved in a couple more things, and I would consider that like to be my next goal. But now I'm just focusing on meeting people and being in a routine that has been such a godsend for me. Um, and the reason I bring all this up is because I had my self doubt, I had my self esteem issues in the last month, and I'm 23 years old. So um,
Damn,
I'm proud of
man's
myself,
such
man.
a child.
No,
Man doesn't know what it's like to be 20.
that's
Dude,
crazy.
You're
That's
gonna be
crazy.
24, and I'm halfway through my 20s next year.
Bro, imagine being 25, dude. You're old as shit.
Yeah,
dude.
imagine being 25.
Bro, that's
That must suck.
insane, dude. I can look outside at like a big ass oak tree that is like, let's just say 7 times the size of me. It might be 25 years old, bro. That's how old it could be, dude.
Oh,
That is
okay.
genuinely, dude. That could be you, bro. Oh my gosh.
Next year.
So, yeah, maybe, dude. I don't know. I'm never gonna make it at 25, dude. I'm not saying I'm gonna die. I'm never making it to that old age, bro.
Oh, so
No
next
way.
year you turn 20, you turn 24, and then after that you turn 24.1.
I
and
just
then
stay
you
24, bro. I'm not going up over that, dude.
No, I'm totally like 100% true with self-doubt and just a stressful time with moving, because I related to that when I moved out directly after college. Just if you know someone that is going through a move, holy shit, be like patient with them if they're, I don't know, not responding to your texts, or they seem really like antsy and like the smallest things upset them. They're definitely stressed, because holy shit. And this is moving without children. I can't even imagine the ball game of fucking moving with kids, because then your kids are being like detached from their friends from the school. They got to make new friends, and then you got to sort of
Dude,
teach them how to cope with
you're
that.
already talking about
Fuck
kids,
no.
bro. See, I told you you're old, bro. Like you're
No.
ready to be a dad, bro.
Okay, no.
You're already thinking about it, dude. I love it. Get the ball moving, man.
I'm
Let me know when
sharing
the wedding is, dude.
not all the perspectives is what I'm sharing. Everyone got self doubt, like Ryan said. Did you have a main point to start off with?
No, I actually,
Okay.
but kind of following your point, like it is so true that well, I'm single, but just like being in a
We.
time where you have so much like flexibility, even though you have like a tough job and maybe like 40 hours a week or whatever. You don't have kids, and you're so right about that. You don't have kids, you don't have pets, you don't have things that like kind of tie you down to extent. And like it's already tough as shit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to agree with your point. That's a very good point.
No, it's I don't know how people do it. People be having kids in a family at my age. Like, hello, I could not.
Dude, I'm gonna talk
Um
about that at the end of the episode. That's actually one of my points. So
oh,
continue.
oh really? Damn. So the first point that I had, overcoming self-doubt and building some well, I guess I'm gonna talk about self-doubt specifically first. Um I guess uh, okay, I actually haven't really done a ton of research about Mark Twain. I'm taking a quote from Mark Twain because it's a really good quote. I studied like a couple things by Mark Twain in school. Don't actually know a lot about the guy, but a quote that I think is really important, and it's a lot easier to say than do, but it is important, is worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. And that's obviously very like easy to say, to like, don't be stressed, don't be worried, don't doubt yourself, don't like, why are you even doing that? Just king gaslighting. Why are you doubting yourself? You're literally so good. What are you talking about? Like, it's so easy to like think that from someone else's perspective. Like, everyone has self-doubt. You could be the most talented person, you could be the hardest working person, you could have, I mean, you could do the stereotypical like, oh, you're all rich, you don't have problems. Like, everyone has that doubt. um so have confidence in decisions that you make. That I think is also something that, I mean, again, easier said than done, but like, to eliminate more of that doubt. I just personally find myself doubting myself more when I am not confident because I'm either uninformed, I'm uneducated, or I'm lacking experience in a certain area. For example, we did some episodes about getting a job. That there's a lot of times of when you doubt yourself if you're qualified or not. And I hate to say this quote too because I'm dick at it, but it's fake it till you make it. Um, like, if you act confident, people will be like, "Oh shit, he knows what's up," so like, I can trust him, even if you don't know what you're doing. So I would say acting confident is a huge thing to, even if you don't convince yourself, your own self doubt, but like, others will not doubt you, and that can either sometimes like take the pressure off if you, I don't know. It's like being on stage. It doesn't feel so
Yeah,
stressful if everyone's like trusting, you know, your shit. To take that quote to a literal, worrying is like paying a debt you don't owe. Having confidence in the decisions that you make is like buying things you like, because when you buy things, like Ryan, what is something you recently bought?
that I like.
Yeah.
Cheez Its.
Okay. Did you doubt the purchase of Cheez-Its when
No,
you
I
bought
wanted
them?
them so
Okay.
I was like, I literally had my mouth watering over the box. The
On
box
the
was
box.
wet. The box was wet when I purchased it, and the cashier lady was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I said, "Sorry, I was salivating. I couldn't help myself."
No, you
And
just
there was
ate the
other liquid.
box.
There were other liquids too, but let's not talk about
No, so yeah, exactly. The point, Ryan was confident about wanting to get something. Obviously, it's a smaller risk type of thing. It's just a snack. But like, being confident in wanting that, it can make you feel less worried because you know you're confident on your shit. And then we have another episode about confidence, right? I can't remember. Do we
we
have?
do. We do.
Do we have it? Okay, boom. Then talk about confidence. Go to that episode. So I just know that that helps a
It's
lot.
definitely not labeled confidence, but we talk about it quite a bit in multiple episodes. So, you were kind of half right, half wrong. But either way,
Okay.
I like your point, and I think the one that definitely related me to me the most is like what you said, like fake it till you make it, especially in my college days of like presenting, because for me, getting up on stage like scared me shitless to an extent, and like when you were in a group presenting as well, like I had this pressure on me that I was like, okay, well, I'm getting the grade for my whole group. And then I just realized, who really cares? And then like I'm just gonna like do my own thing. And then I just started doing that, and I kind of realized, like, even if you don't really know what you're talking about, you feel so much more like comfortable and confident, like you said. So I think that's a great thing. And I actually will be talking about a couple tips right now, kind of how I challenge my negative self-talk. And first off, like some of the self-talk that goes through my head, probably a lot of your all's heads, but like maybe I'm not smart enough. I always mess up. They'll never pick me. like things that like you feel like you're not a part of a certain group. And I think the way to challenge this and to reframe that thought, like Will said, like those quotes were spot on, but for me personally, I identify the thought, challenge its truth, and replace it with more constructive statements. So basically calling it out on its BS and just being like, hell nah, I'm going to do my own thing. And so an example of this is like, instead of saying I'm terrible at this, like let's just say I go play ice hockey for the first time and I'm like, oh shit, I'm terrible at this. Instead say, maybe I fell on my ass and I'm learning and it's okay to make mistakes, and let's keep going with it. And I think this is something I've always thought about, and it's kind of a funny little. It's not necessarily a quote, unless you quote myself quoting Ryan. Um, Self doubt is like having a terrible roommate who eats your snacks, criticizes your every move, and never pays rent. And so I was just thinking about. I've never had a
Hey.
shitty roommate, but I've always heard those things, bro. And I'm like, that sounds exactly like your brain in
Yeah.
certain way. Like it is. It's like your roommate that lives up there rent free. And I have a question for you, Will. How do you recognize when your inner voice is being unfair? And then what helps you like shut it down?
Um,
Basically, where do you draw the
that's really
line with
good.
it?
It's a really good question. I feel like, kind of like you said, just trying to turn any situation into a positive. Like if you're hit with, oh, I'm trying something new for the first time, instead of thinking like, oh, I'm really bad at this. I'm really bad. I'm whatever. You can tell yourself like, I'm really bad at this. Like at first, like you can be for me, it's like I'll
Dude,
be
you're
real with
really bad
myself.
at this, bro.
Yeah, I'll be like honest, and then I'm like, but I'm new to this. No one is good at something that they're new to. Like that doesn't happen. And even if something is like someone's doing something for the first time, they probably learned a skill somewhere else at a different job, at a different experience that is helping them with that new skill or whatever. A very linear example is like, say you grow up, Colorado. Shout out to all the Colorado listeners because there's like fucking 30 cities of people that listen to this show in
30
Colorado.
cities? I didn't even know there were
Yeah,
30 cities,
30
bro.
cities. Yeah, I know. That if you grew up skiing, right? I personally did not grow up skiing or snowboarding. I've only been like twice, but if you ski really well, you may go ice skating or roller skating for the first time, and it's your first time, it's new to you, but you may be fucking cracked at it and you're really good, and your friends may be like jealous or really sad that they're worse at it. But it's like you have the balance, like kind of coordination practice from skiing. It's different, but like you're on two individual, like I guess rollerblading and like ice skating is more linear because it's the exact same thing. But I know it can like all apply. So I just try and think of like I be honest with myself because realistically, honesty is like a referee, right? It's the only fucking thing that matters. You can lie to everyone, and everyone on on a football field, soccer field, whatever, basketball court, everyone can see the foul or someone cheating or whatever. But it only matters if the referee sees it because they can actually impact and
100%.
change what's happening.
100%.
So if for me, I admit to myself what's going on, and then I'm like, okay, we move, kind of like you said, I move from this. Like
Yeah,
I'm new at
yeah.
this,
And like a
whatever.
humble approach is like me with like a chiseled jawline. Like I would be better than most people. I'd be
With
like
a
better
six
than most
pack.
people like at like modeling and stuff. So like don't make sure you're not like too hard on yourself is what I'm trying to say.
With a six pack. His biceps have biceps on them. They just start flexing. His eyeballs pop out biceps. Like he's so good at fucking just every muscle in
Guys,
his
I'm
body.
sorry. I was born like this. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do, bro.
Every new experience is actually not new. I did it while I was in the womb. So I'm fucking cracked at every single skill.
Oh my gosh, dude! I feel like that's just like what Brad Pitt's mentality is, bro. Just like go in the
That's
mind of
crazy.
Brad Pitt, dude. He just like he spawned in, bro, and was just the best at everything. Besides, if you're Brad Pitt, then good on you, bro. But like anything
If you're
else, no.
Brad Pitt and you're listening to the fucking show, what are you doing? Clearly
Sponsor us, bro.
that's something new. There's no, yeah, that's really funny. A point I did want to say that kind of branched off of that um was you were saying kind of changing the way of thinking, right? Like
Yeah,
you were saying like
reframing your thoughts. Yeah.
yeah. So obviously I'm personally working on like self-doubt too. Oh yeah, you said the quote of it being a roommate that like you shouldn't listen to or whatever.
Here, let
Um
me reset it.
oh,
Self-doubt
okay.
is like having a terrible roommate who eats your snacks, criticizes your every move, and never pays rent.
That's so good. And it's so true. Um and I wanted to kind of build off the thought of that. Me personally, something that I damn, I'm not gonna lie, I had a better tie into this, but maybe I didn't. It was it was like my thinking is I usually like to prepare for the worst case scenario, right? If I forget something, or if some plan doesn't fall through, or if people don't hang out, or if I don't get a job, like literally whatever situation that happens, I always try to prepare for the worst. And ironically, my ex-girlfriend said one of the biggest truths about me to my face, which was really good to hear, actually. And it's, will you prepare for the worst so well, but it seems like you always expect it. And that I think is very easy to fall into the pit
Damn.
of, is like, yeah, I know. I literally got that told that to my face. And I went,
Bro, I was thinking of the
shit,
next joke. I was thinking she
that's
said,
good.
"You're funny." And I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." Cuz I thought you were about to say like, "Holy shit, she's so like she
Oh,
made a
yeah.
joke on that." No, I'm just kidding. But that is
No,
deep. That's a lot deeper than I thought. Anyway.
no, it's good because like I am I just, the more that you like I prepare for the worst because I don't want to have a bad outcome where I'm not in control. That's probably the psychological stem. It's like every person wants to be in control of certain things. That's why humans give things labels. They label genres of music, they label genres of toys. I don't know. But like people want to have control. It gives a sense of calmness and it's not unexpected. It's probably just for safety. I'm yapping. But the whole point is that if you keep preparing for the worst, you are only focusing on the worst. So naturally, over time, you're going to start expecting it. And that's not something you should do. Come from someone who prepares for the worst all the time. Do not do that. Going back to that skiing question, Ryan, have you been skiing
Once.
before? Well, okay. I did not know that. What? I thought you like grew up skiing.
No, bro, I never did either like skiing or snowboarding ever, really.
Okay, then maybe this won't work. When you
Do
would
you
ski
like
down the
hiking or some
mountain,
shit,
what do
bro?
you? Man uses his feet instead of a sled. If if you're skiing down the mountain, what are you looking at?
In front of you?
Okay.
It's like, what do you mean?
That's
Like down the hill?
yeah, yeah. Okay, that's some I'm trying to force this so hard. That's somewhat
You're
what
looking at
I
your
am
pizza
saying.
feet under you. No, I'm not saying that shit.
No, no, no. The point is when you're going down a hill skiing, most skiers they say follow the path. Follow the path, follow the path, go in that direction. They don't say avoid that tree, avoid that rock, avoid that child, avoid that pizza delivery guy, avoid that. Like you don't say what to
Totally.
avoid because you're gonna start focusing on what to get rid of. Um, and yeah, I that's super.
That actually
That's
wasn't forced. I see what you're getting at, and I think that's super good to like have that like that mindset where you're not necessarily focusing on the bad things like you said, and those obstacles, like they come as you will and you can't really control them, but they should not be your main focus. Your main focus is to get down the hill and have a good
yeah,
time while you're doing it. And then sure, a tree comes out of like nowhere, but you're going to be prepared because it's part of life. Like it's just that's kind of how we're wired. And bad things come, good things come, and that like if you have a strong like mentality and outlook on life, then you're never going to come down from like the negatives. And I think that is so huge to have that self-worth and that strong head on your shoulders. So,
yeah.
do you have anything else before I move on?
Um, I guess the only quick. Don't think of an elephant. Boom, you thought of an elephant, you lost. That was my example in example. You can't
No,
focus on the
I
not of
actually,
something.
I know what you're getting at, but I genuinely did not think of an elephant. I was thinking of what the
Okay.
hell you were saying.
Well,
So,
you heard it
boom,
here
I won.
first. He said he thought of two elephants. So,
So basically, what I'm
um,
saying is I already overcame self doubt, and I'm a winner. So no, but actually, though, I've talked about this in multiple previous episodes about social media and how like it is such a factor on mental health in all age ranges, especially younger people. And like being an I mean, I can't even say early 20s now. I'm 23, bro. We're mid 20s, dude.
Okay.
We're mid
No, no,
20s.
no. That's like 26, 27.
You're right. You're right. Early 20s. Being in your early 20s, you use social media more than the average human. Well, at least the older humans. Social media often fuels a ton of self doubt by making us compare ourselves behind the scenes to others, like highlight reels or like what you want to see on social media. So, for example, I don't know why I always bring up like the Kardashians, but dude, you see like their lush, lavish life and like all these like super nice products, and you're like, what the hell, dude? Like, why am I not like that? I work so much and I try so hard. Um, but basically, what I'm trying to get at is you cannot compare yourself, and you have to limit your time on these platforms because they do make you feel bad about yourself once you overuse them. If you use them to a good extent, like last week's episode, we talked about productivity apps, maybe even scrolling on social media for a couple tips and communicating with people. Sure, that's great, but make sure you're following the accounts that like inspire you or uplift you rather than ones that make you feel
Facts.
inadequate. And then also remind yourself that everyone's journey looks a little bit different, and that's okay. um, I just wanted to bring in a couple funny topics, like the roommate thing I talked about, but for this an example, I feel like you're doing so fine until you see like a 19-year-old, 18-year-old, whoever it is on Instagram that just like, let's just say they bought their second yacht or something, bro. And you're just like, what the hell am I doing wrong, dude? I'm 4 or 5 years older than this person, and they have two yachts, dude, and they're posting about buying a helicopter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit like that. Meanwhile, I'm over here celebrating the fact that I remembered to get my clothes hung up from laundry this last yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Thank you, man. I know.
Accomplishment.
That's what I'm saying,
Accomplishment.
bro. But what I'm trying to get at, man, is celebrate the victories. And maybe that person on the other side with the two yachts is not having to fold their laundries, hang that up, or whatever it is. But, dude, we have different lives, and you have to celebrate your own victories. I know that they're dealing with depression, not depression, but like negative self talk to an extent as well, whoever you are, right?
Yeah.
Um, and for me personally, I've taken a couple breaks from social media to reset my mindset. This is a little question. Have you done it yourself, Will, just to limit your
I
time?
h- I had to do it for school back in high school. I'm not gonna lie, I can't remember. I guess technically I did in January. I was like, bro, I did the same thing. I'm like, bro, I keep seeing these fucking 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old millionaires, and it's like very demotivating a lot of the time. I try not to compare myself directly, but it's demotivating when a lot of things in our society are seniority based, right? Like
Yeah.
the longer you've been alive, you have more privilege to do whatever. So when you see a young dude just fucking balling out, you're like, damn, like it's naturally to compare yourself. Um, I think I did
I,
for like maybe a month max, but it
okay.
wasn't all social media. It was only like TikTok, and maybe I'd only be on Instagram for like t- 10 to 15 minutes every other day.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, that's still a cleanse to an extent. And I'm glad. I don't know. I mean, for me personally, like I look back at my like lowest points, and I kind of remember myself like watching a ton of TV, being on my phone a lot, basically just not really limiting my screen time and my comparisons towards maybe people myself or whoever it is, those girls shaking ass on TikTok, whatever it is,
That's
bro.
crazy.
No, I'm serious though, where it's like that stuff is kind of brain rot, dude. And that's the word of the year, right? From
Yep.
whatever, Oxford
Brain rot.
University.
Yeah.
So had to throw that in there. Thank you, Oxford. Gave me brain rot myself. But no, genuinely, I'm trying to just say that make sure you're following the accounts that inspire you and promoting yourself and your health and everything about it. So
Yeah. I had one more point, more focusing on self-esteem specifically. Um, it's kind of funny because I wrote these notes kind of a little bit ago. Like my first word says, "Just do you, bro."
what, back
Period.
in when you were 22 or 23 or something?
No, 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 no. This was okay.
10 years
Yes,
ago?
yes, yeah. When I was, yeah, 2 months ago. Um, so I was just gonna say for self-esteem, something that helped me is the longer I did something with little to no success, actually, but still like learning about it, it made me realize how actually well skilled and dedicated I am. So I know we kind of talked about this like in finding a job, and kind of at the beginning of this episode about like you may feel unqualified if especially if you're trying to find a job now. If you send 250 job applications, you may start to feel like, damn, am I even qualified to fucking work at McDonald's? Because it literally, even like just being rejected over and over and over again, it just kind of makes you start to spiral. And I think when you do something, like my example would be trying to do YouTube as a full time job. I haven't found the numeric or analytical success that I want, and the fact that I've been doing it for so long and I still find it fun and I'm learning how to keep improving my skill. I'm learning like, oh shit, I'm actually very well skilled. Also, no shade because you should not compare yourself to others. I'm not saying to compare yourself to others. What I say,
No,
Ryan?
but
Don't compare yourself to others. But when you go to a job and you meet someone and they are very much lacking in skill that you may have, whether that's customer service based, you're really witty with your jokes, you met like you don't know what great strengths you have until you surround yourself with other people. Um and yeah, when you care about stuff that I think you like, you will start to naturally just build up confidence and progressively hopefully that can, lower self-esteem or other way around. Not that, lower self-doubt and build
yeah,
up self-esteem because you'll realize your skills.
100%. And before we wrap everything up, this is kind of just like a little note, if you will. We've been posting highlight
Oh,
reels
facts.
every day actually for the whole month of December to celebrate 6 months as a podcast, which I think is
Yeah.
insane. Good stuff, good stuff.
Sheesh.
We actually have an Instagram account. It's CWPT.pod. We post on there. We also post on the TikTok. That's going to be the same username. And YouTube. And am I missing one?
No, it's just TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah. So those are the three. And another thing I was just going to mention is on any of those platforms, you are more than welcome to reach out to us. I think that is so important. Sure, I can give you all the tips. Will can give you all the tips in the whole world, but if you don't have someone to talk to, like it can be spiraling. So
If you're going to listen to one thing throughout this episode, remember everybody has self-doubt in their own abilities, their skills, their talents, in most things in their life. And it's okay to have that, obviously. But learning to be aware of this in trying to start practicing how to like not listen to that roommate, like Ryan kind of framed with some imagery literary device. You're welcome, 10th grade English. And how to bypass that can take tons of time and experience. So don't be too hard on yourself. It'll be okay. Just make sure you keep following the path, focusing on the positive. I don't know where I got this quote from, but it is bless, and it'll end the episode off with, if you want to see change, change how you see. And remember, care what people think. We'll see you next week.
See you next week on 182.3.